Under the weather, under the facts, under the rule of fun, under surveillance, under the table, deflecting the powers of the gun. Under the hammer, under the silicon, under the stars and stripes. Still struck by the iron's hot with the bits in the dead of night. Turned off his hinges, put the cat out in the cold. War in the Babylon, tribal war in the Babylon. Is it below there? Is it below there? War in the Babylon, tribal war in the Babylon. Is it below there? Is it below there? The Papa men no like the dreadlocks man. The dreadlocks man no like the Papa man no. The police men no like the dreadlocks man. The dreadlocks man no like the police men no. So war in the Babylon, tribal war in the Babylon. Is it below there? Is it below there?
What's up, people? Good to see you again. Good to be seen, particularly when it happens to be in the good old basement bar. It's Friday, 4:45 p.m. Pacific, and that means, of course, it's once again time for the back page. It's the Stinger missile in the arsenal of the rush hour, ESPN 103.9 FM. I'm Matt McKay. Thank goodness we're not looking at war live on TV. Still could. Still hope we don't. Cheers. Excuse me in advance. Despite this war thing, real quickly, and this COVID thing, or maybe because of it, I'm more convinced than ever that it might not be too long before things start getting better and niceness starts making a comeback. You know, I've sort of hinted at it during this pandemic with the pendulum and all that, but I think there's going to be a time sooner or later when being angry all the time becomes tiresome. Constantly worrying and constantly having an axe to grind will grind one down. It'll exhaust you. Even if the flame of anger burns and burns deep inside the angry individual, it'll eventually burn them up. Ever gotten in a fight with your other and knew while you were fighting that this is bad, nothing good's going to come out of it? Sure enough, whether it's 5 minutes later or 5 days later, you'll eventually start feeling bad about it. Shouldn't have done it. Even if the anger was seemingly justified, it still won't help when you finally calm down and realize all the damage that has actually been done. I think it's inevitable that all this anger that started stoking up back in 1994 and accelerated in 2008 is eventually going to run its course. And all these social warriors, just like the hippies in the 1960s, will eventually exhaust themselves and look to happier pursuits. Throw in the COVID factor, we haven't been able to safely handshake or hug for over a year, and I think we temporarily forgot how good that feels. It's fun to be together. It's fun to pull in the same direction. It's fun to be radically inclusive. It's fun to hug. Some folks are always going to be angry for something. It's just how they live. But not all of us. A massive majority of us love and want to be loved. And just as anger exhausts, love uplifts and energizes. I can feel it. When you and you and you can feel it, we're on our way. Let's not wait for that to happen. Let's be the vanguard. I'm ready to keep it going, and you do the same. Let's get out there, spread niceness all around this weekend. Love your neighbor, be grateful, and set the example. Okay. After all that kindness and gentleness, now I'm going to let my snarky side back in here and ask you, how you liking your Olympics now? If I were writing you a text, this would be the time I put in about 8 laughing emojis. I promised you I wasn't going to watch the Olympics, and I haven't. But as the news jockey I am, I have been hearing about what's going on. I'm hearing reports about the Chinese picking on their own, the lack of atmosphere with no fans, the wide camera shots that show bleak landscapes, grave disappointments back home for the USA hockey teams, and now the absolute disaster that has been the women's figure skating competition. It's made a sham of the Olympics, a sham Olympics. I stopped watching the Olympics back in 2016, mostly because I couldn't get the events live, pros were playing, and the Russians were cheating. They just cheat and say, who's going to stop us? And again, I haven't been watching, but I have heard the 15-year-old Russian figure skater not only had 1, but 3 performance-enhancing drugs coursing through her veins. Fails a test and still gets to skate. Medal ceremonies blown up. Olympic credibility left in tatters. Initially, I was pretty upset with this child making the decision to ingest these enhancers. Doesn't she realize that she's got the rest of her life ahead of her when her skating career is over? That's about the time this 61-year-old realized his naivete and was struck in the head with a thunderbolt. Dude, she didn't decide to take the drugs. She's a Russian in the Russian sham Olympics program. She had to take the drugs. It's part of the program. Got to comply to get by. Let's recall how Sha'Carri Richardson was booted from the Summer Games last year for burning herbs, legal, of course, in Oregon, and well known for its performance debilitating qualities. A couple of bong hits of the high grade, and running a sprint is the last thing most folks want to do. But while the Black American sits at home, the Russians engage in child abuse on the biggest stage under the brightest lights and get away with it. I used to tune in knowing that the East Germans were cheating and that you'd have your occasional individual violators, but by and large, the Olympics always gave us the world's best athletes competing in traditional events. Then came the pros. Then came the ribbon gymnastics, the synchronized swimming, moguls, and half pipes. Then came the systematic Russian cheating. Then I lost interest. However, there's basketball on this weekend. So close to March Madness now, I can almost taste the Pizza Hut. Get a jump on that. And also, a bunch of really good NBA and NHL games on lately. And if you like those fast cars, Daytona 500 at the World Center of Racing on Sunday. If you've got any beer and snacks left over from the Super Bowl, they're going to come in handy when that green flag drops. By the way, I must let you know, the next 3 weeks are TBA. Heading back to the Rock, and we'll be there next Friday. The Friday after, it's rehearsal dinner night in anticipation of the Angus McKay Taylor Neff wedding on Saturday. And the following Friday, me and the missus will be in Montreal, QC, celebrating our 35th wedding anniversary. And will we see a Canadiens game? if they let us, we'll be there with our vaccination cards around our necks. I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, have a great sports weekend. It's wonderful to spend this time with you. I really do appreciate every one of you looking in each and every time. It's been another version of the Back Page live from the basement bar instead of the Alpha Media Studios, where it should be executed in concert with the Rush Hour ESPN 103.9 in Palm Springs, California. I'm Matt McKay. Be safe. Have fun. See you soon. And let's go, Bubba. And you know it's true, yeah. Oh, yeah. War in a Babylon. Tribal war in a Babylon. This is the love there. So what? The side out there. Oh, yeah. War in a Babylon. Tribal war in a Babylon. So free. It's final and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war. It's a war that until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of the skin is a war.